Welcome to the Freelance Unlocked Behind the Scenes series, where I'm showcasing the amazing people who will be at a Freelance Unlocked Conference, the first and the best conference for freelancers that is made with love, and it'll take place in Berlin on May 14th, 15th, 2025. If you are a freelancer in Europe, it's an event made for you to learn, exchange experiences, and build your network of great freelancers and experts who move the freelance economy forward. So go to freelanceunlocked.com and grab your ticket right away. My name is Yuri, I'm a contributor at Freelance Unlocked, and my guest is Timo Schmidtchen, a managing director at Constaff, partner in staffing and implementing digital future projects in all areas of IT and the IT-related environment. So, hello, Timo.
Hello, Yuri.
Super happy to have this conversation even before the conference. So, tell me, how are you connected with the freelance world?
We are connected at Constaff on various ways. For example, our recruiting is very closely connected to the freelancers when we have open projects, and we want to match the candidates with the projects. On the other side, we have implemented a relationship management team several years ago who are directly in contact with the freelancer for every questions they have. For example, how can I invoice my timesheet, for example, or can you help me with several situations at the customer so far? We have communities of practice since 2 years ago now. For example, a Scrum community where we have workshops together. How can we go on in the projects, on several projects and customers overall? So yeah, that's the ways how we are connected to the freelancer world.
So you definitely know what's going on in the freelancing world, and you definitely have, as you've said, different perspective, different point of view. So from your perspective, what is your quick take on the freelance economy and how it will develop in the near future?
I think actually it's a harder situation since 2 years before. In my opinion, actually, our clients are the clients in Germany make only necessary investments because on the economic and the political situation so far. So, but I guess I see the freelance world as a world with specializations, and we need freelancer and we need these experts to go on in digitalization and innovation in Germany so far.
What is your perspective on freelance and specialization? Would it be better to have different skills and approach, like for example, if you are a tech developer, know many languages and be able to do many different works at the moment, or is it better to be specialized in one thing that you are doing the best?
I would say it depends on the project we were looking for. For example, we have projects where we have a lot of external freelancers inside, for example, 30 to 40, or we are looking for one specific freelancer who has the know-how, which is missing in some companies. So, for example, regulations or banking authorities or something like that.
Got it. So you'll be a speaker at Freelance Unlocked stage very, very soon. So give me a sneak peek into what you'll be talking about on the Freelance Unlocked stage.
I want to use the opportunity to speak about partnership, OpenBook. And the thing is, last year at the Freelance Unlocked 2024, we were there and just as a partner, not as a speaker. But my feelings were, okay, a lot of freelancers have disadvantages against personal service providers because in history, a lot of personal service providers didn't work with the open book approach. And for Constaff, we were founded in 2010. Yeah, 2010. And from the starting point, we were 100% open book. So it means that everything we have in the contract, everything which is important for the project, it's 100% clear and 100% transparent. So for us, it's not like we make sales with products or something else. We work with personalities. So it's very important to have trust and partnership in this area to go forward in a positive way.
So what is the difference between the open book approach and traditional models?
There's no big difference. The service is the same, but it's about transparency. It's about open book. It means you have a trustful, you have a honestly conversation with the freelancers. So you have to, or you should talk about everything what is important. You have to should you can talk about everything like about the project or which is necessary, for example, for the freelancer. So for us and our philosophy at Constaff is bring both sides together and not looking for a client to a freelancer. Okay, we need this skill, we need this freelancers and company first. No, for us, in my opinion, you only can be successful in a project when both sides working together the same way.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes it's exactly what's missing, the missing parts on the freelance market. And many freelancers are struggling with pricing their services because they don't know what like is a rate on the market. They don't know what is a margin of the staffing company. And they don't really understand what hourly rate to choose, especially when there is a high level of competition, when be it's hard to stay visible just because of the level of services you provide, but also you have to compete on this rate part. And I'm curious, like from your perspective, how the open book approach helps, if it helps, and if yes, how does it help freelancers to better understand their market value?
The thing is, in history, for example, I have a price about 100 an hour, 100 euro an hour from client side, and they say, okay, we can't go even more or over the 100 euros. So, and I can go with the open book approach on side to the freelancers or experts and says, yeah, we can give you 85 or 90 euros. So 10 to 15 euros is the margin of Constaff. And in history, the problem was that a lot of customer service providers tried to increase their own margin. And in my opinion, I don't know why, because the expert is the one. It's yeah, we have a service. We are making it on the whole way or on the long time of the project, but I think that's not the main focus of the project. So for example, we had a lot of freelancers in history who came to us because other personal service providers made 30 to 35 euros an hour on margin. And in
Wow.
my opinion, it's too much. For what, for example? So yeah, when we have a workshop to, for example, for about 7 days or something, yeah. But when we have a project which is longer than 12 months or 50 months or 6 months, for example, it's also fine. We don't need 30 or 35 euros an hour for of margin. So then we can choose a higher qualified person fit and skill expert on the one side to make a better project or successfully project on customer or client side.
Yeah, I feel like it's a really painful point when some companies are going this way, and yeah, just playing with freelancers, and then you see all this, I call them horror stories, when like some kind of agency or someone, the person in the middle, like took like 50% of the rate or like even more, and then paid freelancers some smaller part, and it's like weird, crazy things. But I'm curious, for example, if let's say you have 100 euros per hour from a client, but you have like really good freelancer, but they rate 95 and they can't go down. It's like the minimum rate. Would you decrease your margin, or would you tell like, yeah, okay, sorry, it's not a project we can work on? How do you work in these cases?
Depends, I would say. On the one hand, I would talk 100% openly and honestly and trustful to the freelancer and say, yeah, okay, we have a project which is for 12 months or longer. So maybe we can have a rate 90 euros for you, 10 euros for us to go on in the project because this is very long. You have a long time where you don't have to think about where's my next job or where could I get the next project. On the other side, I would ask on client side, yeah, is it possible we have a higher skilled candidate for you in the project? He has more skills you need because, or on the other hand, maybe he can help you to be faster and better in the project or a high scaled qualified project so far. So the point is you have to communicate on both sides and you have to bring both sides together. So in an interview, when the client is very fine and very happy with the experience of the freelancer, so
Yeah.
then you have better chances to talk about, yeah, we have the extra skill. Maybe it's possible to get €5 more. Or, for example, we can ask, okay, we will start with this amount of €105, and maybe after 6 months we will come down to €100. It's the same like when customers come back to us and says, yeah, we want to extend the project, but for 10 years less than €105, for example. And then, in my opinion, it's not only on side of the freelancer. So when we have a long project, we can do it together. So, for example, both will lose €5 an hour, for example, but it's also fine for me. We have the project for a longer time, and the freelancer is also happy. So we will make like partnership.
How do you ensure that both sides, freelancers and clients, see the value in open book approach and don't perceive this transparency as a disadvantage of negotiations?
That's difficult, I guess. It's more easy on the freelance side. They are not so trustful in the beginning when we talk the first time, Constaff and the freelancer, because they don't know the open book approach. Not all are knowing the open book approach. When we have already discussed it, they say, okay, I don't know about, and why are you doing that? And I say, okay, we want to do it like in a partnership and not classic personal service provider. We want to go as a partner in the project. On the other side, on the client side, it's not even easy with the open book approach, because, for example, big clients normally, when they have to produce savings, for example, they says, okay, every service provider has to give us a discount about 10%, for example. And then I say, yeah, but in our case, it's not possible to give 10%, for example, when 10% is our whole margin. So in case some other personal service provider can do that, or can do that more even better, because they have a higher margin. So it's not so easy when you have the open book approach, and a lot of clients are taking this against us, not so hard, but to reduce the margin or reduce the daily rate.
And I feel like, it's always freelancers and clients that are coming from different sides, and clients want to minimize their expenses while getting the most value, and freelancers wants to maximize something they get, but while still something they have in common, while still bringing the most value. It's at least it's a good part. So in your experience, what advice would you give to freelancers first, and then to companies who wants to build stronger and more transparent collaborations in the future?
First time I would say, come to Constaff and we will find a solution and we'll find a new project. No, I would advise, ask your personal service provider. And in my opinion, there's nothing you can't ask or you're not allowed to ask. So you are the freelancer on the project. You are the expert. You are in the project to make a successfully project there. And in my opinion, there's nothing you shouldn't know. So ask about everything. Ask your service provider how how much is the margin from you in the project, because in a lot of projects, and that is my knowing now after 8 years, after times the freelancers are talking about, and the freelancers knows about the personal service provider gets. So why not openly from the beginning?
Yeah. And for companies, what should they do to get better freelancers and to get better relationships with them?
On the one side, customers should know what they are looking for. We have a lot of situations, I guess, where we have to ask again, okay, what you are looking for exactly? Because you are, for example, our customer is looking for AI specialist. The AI specialist should be 25 to 30 years old, 10 years of experience, a master degree. And I say, yeah, but really? Where are we talking about? So if you have experience with 2 to 3 years, yeah, you're an expert and senior expert as well. So they have very standard cluster of skill sets they are looking for. And yeah, we can, in Germany, we say die eierlegende Wollmilchsau. We are looking for a specific specialization. Okay, how long in this skill, how long in this skill, how many projects, and which size of a project so far. So that is very important for us to match directly the skills with the freelancers. So, and in, yeah, our philosophy is to go on the market or to speak to freelancers only when we are sure that the skill set is minimum a fit of 90%. So, for example, when you're a Java developer and I will ask you, yeah, I have an SAP project. So you say, okay, you don't know what you're looking for, right? And that's not the service we want to provide. And it's not the thing. And I heard it last year at Freelance Unlocked that they say, yeah, the recruiter are or don't have skills and they don't know what they are doing. And it's, for me, it's highly important that we know what we have to do. And when we don't know, we have to ask. We have to ask at the client. And when we don't understand the skills so far, we can also ask freelancers. I had a lot of situations where I'm not sure, okay, what is the specific skill about? So, and I was looking in our CRM system or on Freelancer map, and I was directly asking, okay, can you explain me what is it and what are you doing in your project? And in my opinion, a lot of freelancers want to talk about that, what they are doing in the project or what specialization they have.
From your perspective as a staffing partner for freelancers, what is one thing that freelancers must do nowadays to win more projects?
I would say they should have an actual CV so far, and they should be trustful and also 100% open book. That's on the other hand, for example, 2 years ago, we had the market that the freelancers could choose on several projects on the same time. And the market now is it's more harder, not only for us, also for the freelancers. So for us, we don't want to live the open book approach on the one way, we want to live it both ways. So we want to get some commitment about this approach also when we are talking about the project, and I say, okay, Yuri, I think we will get feedback by the end of the week. Are you able for an interview then so far? And you say yes, then I have the commitment, and hopefully I have the commitment that we can do the interview.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because I know that sometimes they can go like for 10 interviews and then, yeah, I'm free, but then they're not free. So, yeah, Timo, I wish to have the sky as a limit, but time is a limit to our conversation. So, the final question. You were on Freelance Unlocked 2024. So if your friend asked you whether they should go to the Freelance Unlocked 2025, what would you say to them?
I would say it's a very, very great opportunity to connect with other freelancers or other experts. The networking event in the evening, it's awesome because it's so easy to connect, it's so easy to get in contact. You can make friends, for example, but you can make great opportunities. Like from my side, I met Bastian from Code Control as well last year at the first time. And it's very cool to see that everyone or a lot of people have the same way on looking for what you want to do.
Yeah. And what is the best way to connect with you?
For example, on LinkedIn, and on the other side at Freelance Unlocked 2025 when I'm there at a speaker. So yeah, it will be fun.
Got it, Timo. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom even before the conference. And I can't wait to learn even more from you on Freelance Unlocked and hope to see you very soon in person.
Great.
And for those who listen, I hope you learn from Timo's experience already and say thank you to him in person at the Freelance Unlocked Conference on May 14th, 15th, 2025 in Berlin. So go to freelanceunlocked.com and grab your ticket and meet you there.